Welcome to your e-collar introduction video. So when your dog completes training, they will receive a mini educator from e-collar technologies. You have your remote and your receiver. I'm going to go over everything you need to know so that when you start using this tool, you feel familiar with it already. So we're going to start with your remote. Every night, you should charge your e-collar just like you would a cell phone. There are charging ports on the back of both pieces. So there's a charging port here, and on your receiver, there's a charging port here. When it comes off of the charger, both pieces will be off. So the first thing you need to do in the morning is turn them on. On the back of your remote, you will see your on, off, and light button. It has an L on it. All you need to do is press and hold that button down until your screen lights up. Then this piece is on. Once this piece is on, we have to turn the receiver on. So each piece has a small red dot. All you need to do is tap those dots together. They act like a little magnet and they turn the receiver on. Once this is on, it will flash green. You can also test to make sure that this piece is on by pressing the T button, which is the tone button. When you do that, you'll hear this sound come from the receiver. That way you know both pieces are on and connected. Once you've done that, you're ready to go. So let's talk about your remote. We have 3 buttons and a dial. So on this side, you will see 2 buttons that each have an S. The S is for stimulation. So when I press each of these buttons, it will send stimulation through to your receiver at the level that the dial is set on. So as you can see right now, we're at a level 0. If I move my dial, you can see the levels increase. They go all the way up until 100 and then all the way back down to 0. So you have a lot of nuance there in terms of what level you use. You will notice that if I set this to a level 5 and I press my black button, it activates stim at a level 5. My red button, or what I call a squirrel button, is like a little boost of 5 levels. So if I hold my red button down, you'll see that this jumps to a level 10. And it stays at a level 10 for as long as I hold this red button down. So if you are using this and you need a little bit of a boost to capture your dog's attention in a moment where there's an extra level of distraction, like a squirrel running across the road, you can go ahead and press your red stim button, which is a boost of 5 higher from whatever level you are set at. So I can go ahead and roll up to a 20. You can see if I press my black button, it activates at a 20. If I press my red button, it activates at a 25. So then on the thumb side of your remote, you will see a button that has a T on it. That stands for tone. I train the tone as a recall. So this works up to a half mile away from you. So let's say that your dog is running down the beach. They're having a great time, they're really excited, and they can't hear your verbal recall over the sound of the ocean because they're far away and they're also very distracted. In that instance, I can use my tone as a recall. So I will hold this button down and it will emit a tone from the receiver right behind your dog's ear. When they hear that sound, they know that they need to turn around and run back to you. It's a very useful recall, and so that's something that we'll go over in your lessons, but that's how you activate it. You press the T button and you get a tone. Now, another important thing to note is if you press the T button down for 3 seconds, it automatically turns to stim. So if you're holding down your tone and your dog doesn't respond right away to that recall, like they kind of keep running down the beach, then it will turn to stim at the level that's set on your dial. So it automatically backs itself up. It's kind of like a game of beat the buzzer. I've trained them to know that if they don't respond to the tone within that time frame, then it will roll to stim, and that will back up my recall. So I'll demonstrate that. I'll hold down the tone, and you'll see by the light indicated on the receiver when it turns to stim. Now it's on stim, and when I release the T button, the stim turns off. Another thing is, if I hold down my tone button and it rolls to stim, I can roll up my dial as well, and the stim level will increase on the collar. So it's a great kind of auto recall that backs itself up automatically. Now, if I were to press the tone and they were to turn around right away, then I can release and they don't experience stim at all. This is only for if they ignore the tone. That's a really nice feature. On the back, we also have, like I said, our on, off, and light button. So once these pieces are on, if I tap the on, off light button again, it will create a light that emits from the receiver. If I tap it once, it creates this flashing light. If I tap it again, you get a constant light. This is a really nice feature for if you're walking your dog late at night and there's low visibility. This light is very bright and it's really easy to see. Or let's say that you have a dark backyard and you want to kind of keep track of where they are, then you can go ahead and turn this light on. Again, really nice way to keep track of them and make them visible to other pedestrians or traffic. So I love the light feature, and all you have to do is toggle that on-off light button. So the light is off, the light is flashing, the light is on, and then the light is off again. Now let's talk about your screen. So on your screen, you will notice there's a flashing 1D and a C. The 1D stands for one dog. So this remote can be set up for 2 collars, but typically I tend to send dogs home with just one remote paired to one collar. So 1D flashing stands for a 1 dog setup. The C stands for continuous stim. This means that for as long as I hold down my stim buttons, it will send stim to the receiver. So I hold and it releases. I hold and it releases. This is really important. I want it to always be configured this way, because if this small button on the back that says MC on it gets toggled, then you'll see on your screen, it'll switch to an MC, or if it gets toggled again, an M. That means even if I hold my stim buttons down, it will only send a momentary blip of stim to your receiver. So I'm holding my button down, but see how it just sends one little blip? So that's not enough. A lot of dogs don't even really register that. And I want my stim to act as a leash. So I want to be able to hold pressure as long as I need to communicate with them, and then have control over the timing of when I release pressure. So if your screen has an M or an MC on it, just toggle this button on the back, the small one, until you get back to the C. Now, another important feature is sometimes the dial will get pressed down on accident, and it will lock the level on your screen. So you'll be rolling up and rolling down, but the level won't change. If that's the case, all you need to do is hold this down again until it unlocks. So if you're like, oh, I need to roll up or roll down, but the level is stuck, that's just because this has accidentally been pressed down. So that's your remote. This is your receiver. There's the charging port and your contact points. I will have outfitted your receiver with the appropriate contact points for your dog. And I will likely have also fit them with a custom strap that has a little bit of flexibility to it so that you can get a proper fit. When you fit the collar on your dog, Remember to keep the receiver in your right hand and the buckle up towards the sky so that you're fastening the clasp over the top of your dog's neck, not under their chin. So that's your receiver. As you can see, when it's on, it flashes green. If it were to be off, then you wouldn't get anything at all. I can tap my T button and I don't hear anything. That means that it's off. So if you find that you're using the e-collar and you're rolling up to levels that your dog normally perceives and they're not responding, double check and make sure that this is on. So you can tap the tone and listen, realize that it's off, turn it on, test it again, and then you're good to go. So yeah, this is your e-collar setup. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, and I will help you through anything. All right, that's it.